What's everybody fighting for? Why can't people help people? That's the question.
Oh my gosh, it's people helping people!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another amazing episode of People Helping People. Thank you all for being here, and I am so excited because this is episode 4 of chapter 2. And if you're just joining us for the first time, we just ran 30 live shows in 30 days. It was nonstop action, nonstop fun. We had 17 guests join us over the course of 30 days, and we learned a lot of wisdom, a lot of knowledge, a lot of laughs. We were shedding tears. I mean, we went through the gamut of emotions through those 30 days, and it sparked something incredible. It sparked chapter 2. In chapter 2, we sit here and we are putting every little ounce of effort that we put into chapter 1, into chapter 2, and then some, and taking what we've built to give back to the people. And I want to thank every single person that's stepping in and being a participant of the show, being a supporter of the show, being what People Helping People embodies and embraces. So thank you for joining us. And this is just the beginning. So again, tonight we have a very exciting show for you. I see a couple of you guys out there. And if you don't know, this is a live show. This is live. So jump into the comments. Let us know who you are, where you're from. If you have questions for us, we'll get to your questions during the show. That's the exciting part about this whole thing. There's no edits. There's no going back. Everything we say is on wax, and it's out there forever. And, you know, sometimes I kick myself in the ass over some of the things that I've said in the last 40 or so, 60 or so days. I don't even know how many shows I've done thus far, but quite a few. And when you're live and you're just having conversations, it is a wild ride. But I just want to say, David Castillo, we see you out. Thank you. Thank you for joining us, bro. And I'm just coming off of having a hypoglycemic attack, so I am drinking my apple juice. I am sweating profusely, and I am showing up. There is no stopping us, so we're making it work. Thanks for joining us, Castillo. We love you, brother. Rich in the house, legend. Salute, Rich. Thank you for being here. And I'm looking forward to seeing some pictures, the merch that we sent you guys over there. So, yeah, thank you for being here. And before we pop into tonight's episode with our guest, as I'm sure you could see by the title and description of the video, we have a very exciting guest on the show today. I want to go ahead and read some of our sponsors. We got people that are supporting our show. So it wouldn't be right for me to go on without showing them some love. So without further ado, let's get into some sponsors here. Tonight's show is sponsored by Mike Silkowski. He's your local partner in getting your message in front of the right people. Mike specializes in helping businesses right here in Southern Salem, I lived in Salem, right here in Southern Tucson, reach their ideal customers through TV and streaming services. He's not just sponsoring this chapter 2 of People Helping People, he's building partnerships, and he doesn't succeed unless you do. If you're ready to grow your business with someone who is invested in your success, call Mike directly at 515-305-5311. Again, that's 515-305-5311. And Mike is the man. He is the network. He is the guy. If you need radio time, if you need TV time, if you need airtime, if you need something in the newspaper, he has his hands in all of it. And so if you have a business and you need some help with marketing, talk to Mike. Give him a call and, ask him some questions. ask him some questions and he'll give you some options. And so, Mike, we are a proud representative of everything that you do. And thank you for supporting People Helping People. Man, we got a bunch of people in the chat too. I see you guys. Elizabeth Smith Moon, thank you for joining us. Hey, she says. And she says, I told you I'd be here. You sure did. You are a woman of your word. We appreciate that. Welcome to the show, and we hope that you appreciate it. But as mentioned before, you guys, this is chapter 2. This is chapter 2 of People Helping People, and it's called The Give Back. So what we are doing for chapter 2 is we are putting our resources together and sponsoring kids to go to a camp. And the camp that we're sponsoring kids to go to is for type 1 diabetics. For those of you that are new, I am a type 1 diabetic, so that is near and dear to my heart. And essentially, this camp is all type 1 diabetics. So the kids, the counselors, the medical staff, everybody there is a type 1 diabetic. So as a child, you can imagine how impactful that would be to realize that you're not alone in the world. You have support, and you can have a community of people there to support you. So I think it's a beautiful cause. And I would have never thought of being able to do something like this without having a guest on that we had on chapter 1 of People Helping People, our 30 live shows in 30 days. And this guest came on, and she has built out a beautiful ecosystem of people giving back, of advocating for type 1 diabetics in so many different ways. And this beautiful network and web of individuals was so inspiring to me. And she has inspired chapter 2 of People Helping People. So without further ado, I want to welcome Amanda Cardenas. Welcome in, Amanda. How are you?
I am so good. Again, like I said last time, I feel like I have to pay you for these types of introductions. Those are so good.
Well, thank you. I'm so excited to have you back on the show because, again, in our first conversation, you really inspired me in so many different ways, and I discussed how after being diagnosed, I wanted to just advocate for type 1 diabetics because I didn't want people to experience the same things that I experienced. The loneliness, the just straight up figuring it out, and I had to relearn how to live life, which every type 1 diabetic has to do. It's like this whole flip of the script. And now all of a sudden you're just having to like almost hit a reset. And I just really appreciate everything that you shared with us and the ecosystem that you've built out. And, oh, you know what? I'm rambling. Sorry. For the people that don't know, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Amanda Cardenas. I am a born and raised native here in Phoenix, Arizona. A couple things about me, and which I'm sure we can talk about throughout this, is how this camp has impacted me to actually transform my business and how I've been able to also give back through what I do, which I am a full-time licensed real estate agent. So I do residential and commercial. Woo woo. So, but the cool thing about that, and again, I'm sure we'll get into it, but I'm just going to use my little platform here. I utilize parts of what I make in my compensation to be able to give this money back and sponsor kids to go to camp, just like I received when I was younger. And it's just changed my life. And again, it sounds silly to people who've never experienced it before. Because again, if you just think, oh, it's just a summer camp, really, it's not even the camp itself, it's the community and the perspective it brings. So it's just the people it's brought in my life, the people that's helped me connect through this entire organization is just amazing. And then when I saw yours and your friend Rich's, like when I saw your guys's that one episode you did, like I've never seen your stuff before, and you guys were talking about him and your type 1 diabetes and his daughter, and I just like with a fury, it was your ending credits, I was like, you guys need to know about all these things, and it was just like word vomit through text. And I'm so grateful you connected with me because again, like I like to believe my excitement over this has been the catalyst to make other people want to get involved and build their community throughout. So I'm just like, I'm so happy. I'm here and I'm excited.
Thank you. And of course, you get a round of applause. Well, yeah, I mean, our last episode, I'm so happy for one that you jumped into the tail end of David and I's conversation, and he really shared just so many different stories because him being a diabetic and diagnosed at such a young age, and then his daughter at 2 years old being diagnosed, it was like this really gut wrenching, but also incredible story of triumph and just so many things go into being a type 1 diabetic. And I think from the outside looking in, not a lot of people have the understanding, and so I'm hoping to be here to help bring that to light of how important it is to have community and camaraderie and have people around you that, the support system is just so important. And with that, you said this Camp ASDA was something that gave you that community, that's feeling seen, and I want to dive a little bit back into that because I know we already touched on that on the first one, but a lot of people didn't see that show. So if you could walk me through your first Camp ASDA experience.
Sure. My first Camp Asthma experience was actually pretty awkward. Mainly because I was going through some stuff. I was going through phases. Not only was I diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, but I went through a phase where I wanted to be called Zach. And that is like a weird, we haven't talked about that, but I have pictures I could share later of like, it was to the point where like I went to, because, okay, just quick story. So at camp, they have a girls' village and a boys' village. So if you're a girl, you sleep in the girls' village. And if you're a boy, you sleep in the boys' village. I was such a tomboy to the point when I walked in my cabin my first day, one of the girls says, "You're in the wrong village." And that was an awkward moment for me. But after that, after I got over that initial like moment, it just literally led and connected me to some of the most important people in my life. Because when I was diagnosed, I was 7 years old. I was the only person in my family with type 1 diabetes. And so for me, it was like, okay, like you're told all the things when you're diagnosed, especially at 7, like you're told all the things you can no longer do. So all you're thinking of is like, oh, I can't do this anymore. I can't do this. And then all of a sudden your doctor's like, hey, there's this camp, like it's for kids with type 1 diabetes. A lot of the staff there's diabetic. I think it would be a great idea for you to go. And unfortunately, at that time, like not only am I being told my life is changing, my parents are also being told that my life is also forever changed, as well as theirs, and their financial stability is completely changing as well. So, like, they're hearing about this camp and what it costs while they're also finding out the cost of insulin per month. So it was like, at the end of the day, they're like, well, we want to keep her alive and we need to pay bills, but also we want to give her this life-changing possible experience. So at the moment, I wasn't going to go to this camp. And my dad is like a natural networker. And at one point, within like 2 weeks of me being diagnosed, he meets this person. And again, I have no idea who she is. And long story short, she was just like, hey, what's going on? He told her that I was just diagnosed and that he was trying to find a way to like pay for me to go to this camp. And she asked how much it was. And this woman, who again, none of us know who she is, like just wrote my dad a check and sent me to this camp. And
Amazing.
so that woman's kindness, like again, whoever she is, I don't know if it's one of those where like it's like those meet cutes, like, hey, if you remember me at this place, I was looking like this. She doesn't even know who I am. But her kindness and generosity has completely changed my life. And so that kind of ties me into my first experience at this camp. So again, I just left this place where I'm told all the things I can't do anymore. And again, my parents were afraid of me dipping like celery and ranch because ranch had carbs in it. So I go to this camp and I go to find out like I'm not the only one that has to go to a nurse's office. Like I'm not the only one who's poking my finger. Like none of these things was just rare to me anymore. So like every single person, like the 7 other girls in my cabin, all had to give themselves shots, all had to do their blood tests. Even my counselors, like they also did the same exact things. And so I'm being shown all the things that I can do. And the thing is, like, you think of a type 1 diabetic camp, it's not a camp like that is for type 1 diabetes. It's a camp for kids who happen to be type 1 diabetic.
Hmm.
And so we do all the normal things you would at any other camp, just with a couple extra steps and a little extra, I wouldn't say hovering, but extra monitoring, because again, like, we're also very responsible for these children and their health. So, and again, every person there is either type 1 diabetic themselves, medically licensed. Like, we have doctors, nurses, paramedics, EMTs, and like I would say about 85% of our staff are all type 1. And then the rest are just phenomenal people who've had their lives impacted by people with type 1 diabetes.
Mm.
So it was just really cool to like be told I can't do all these things. And then I'm seeing people do it 10 times better than I could have imagined. And not only that, like our medical director, he's been type 1 diabetic. I think we just celebrated his like 35-year anniversary or 40-year anniversary of being type 1. And it's so cool. Like, we're all from different walks of life and we're all figuring our stuff out, but like, we're all in it together, and like none of us are doing it alone anymore. And I think that's what sucks about diabetes. Like, in a sense, like, you feel alone a lot of the time because it's like your family wants to relate to you, your family wants to understand, but really, like, they don't get it. Like, my husband, we've been together oh my gosh, on 13 years in December. And while he understands, he just doesn't get it. And then when I get to see my friends from camp or even talk to you, for example, like literally your blood sugar is low. And I was like, oh man, that sucks. But hey, here we are showing up still, right? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
but
Well, I
like, I
think
get
that's
it.
yeah. I think that's really amazing that you were impacted by this camp in such a way, and I can only imagine. Like you said, there's a sense of being alone when you're diabetic, and the people around you, maybe they want to understand, they want to hover or be a part of whatever it is that you're eating, and like you said, like you'll have people be like, "Hey, can you do that?" And you're like, come on, give me a break. Like, I'm
Can
gonna
you
live
eat
my
that?
life. Yeah, exactly. But the thing is to have other people around you that I'm sorry, I'm having issues with my sound levels right now. But at such a young age, to have people around you that are all type 1 diabetics, and to realize, like you said, you're not the only one pricking your finger. You don't have to be ashamed of it. I think that's just got to be such a liberating experience. And
Mhm.
that's why I wanted to introduce for chapter 2 the give back, to be able to do the same thing for others. I don't want anybody to ever go through life without having a network of type 1 diabetics in their life. And so, can you kind of tell me the prolonged network of people, the prolonged community after being involved with that first camp? Like, how has that evolved over time?
I mean, in general, like there's people I've known. I've been going to this. So I was diagnosed 24 years ago. So I was 7 years old when I was diagnosed. And there's people that I met at 7 that were in like at my wedding. Like, I have people that are still very close to me that I hold very near and dear to me. Like, and it's caused so many ripple effects of like, we have couples who got married from camp. Like, we have
Mm.
diabetic couples who have kids together. Like, we have people who just, I mean, literally just like lifelong friends, which is incredible. I mean, and not only that, but like, and I think I'm kind of answering your question in a sense of like what has came out of this. So I mean, yeah, people have gone to my wedding. I've been in other people's weddings. Like, it's crazy. Like, we're here, we're adults now. Like, I, why is my words? I should probably
No, it's
check.
okay. It seems like, just again, to have something that's so impactful that you have these lifelong friends, and there's this underlying bond that is unbeknownst to the rest of the world. It's something that is unrelatable, and only people that either have it or are experiencing it as maybe a parent or something like that could somewhat understand. And that's why I mean, I just feel so called to be doing the same thing. And I want people to know that in chapter 2, we're going to have a link in the description down there. If you would like to donate, our goal is to send one kid to camp at least, but I think that we can send multiple kids to camp by the end of chapter 2. And let's give the kids the opportunity to do the same thing. And hopefully, I mean, it stemmed so much advocacy in your life on top of that, and I want to talk a little bit about that, like the network that you have built out that's built around type 1 diabetics.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, I think too, with going to this camp and with the people and the just like the excitement that it brings, it's like, again, we understand it sucks. Like type 1 diabetes isn't someone I would wish anything. Like I wouldn't wish it on anybody, you know what I mean? Especially my worst enemies, because that means they can come to camp. But it's one of those where it's shifted so many things where like I get excited to see people wearing devices now because I want to talk to them. And like it's funny too, because like I always do like duct tape and like different things on my pump sites because people are less afraid to approach me and they're like, what is that? And I literally just say, it's a conversation starter.
Yeah, I
Like,
love
and
that.
that is like my cheesy opening line to talk to people about it because people want to know. And I think it's unfair to like make people feel ashamed to ask questions about this kind of stuff. Cause it's like, again, how are we going to raise awareness? Like, how are we going to build a community out of shame? And I'm like the most shameless person you'll probably ever meet, which is how we probably started talking. But yeah, so it's really blossomed into a lot of really cool things through this camp because it's just a week out of the entire year. You know what I mean? Like you just get those like 7 days where it just makes a huge impact. But it's like, how do we continue to grow and expand that? And so, again, the really cool thing is like, I have people who are my very first counselors that are like now heads of these organizations that they've created. So one of them being the Diabetes Network of Arizona, where literally 2 of my very first diabetic counselors are the founders of this group. And really what it is just a way for people to connect throughout the year. So they put events on for, kids, teens. We also have like young adults and then like 21 plus, where again, by the way, fun fact for no one who knew this, yes, you can drink as a type 1 diabetic. Do people say you should? Keep your opinions to yourself.
Right.
But we can do the same things you can. We just have a couple extra steps we got to take.
That's it. Yeah.
So we have those meetups, and then we also have events for families and parents of kids with type 1 diabetes, because it's not just about like what we're going through. It's also about like what everyone else is going through, experiencing what we're going through, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So they've created this whole environment where we even had our first family camp earlier this year in March, which was awesome. Like there was snow. No one knew what to do with themselves because almost everyone's from like Phoenix and Tucson. But it was a really awesome experience for the weekend where everyone got to bring their families, their cousins. Like it wasn't just about the kids. It was about the whole family. And the cool thing about that camp too was for that weekend, I got to bring my husband with. So we've been together almost 13 years. He's always heard about camp, but he never knew what it really was. And so getting to be there as a volunteer and getting to do that with me. We also, through our business, sponsored the nightly family happy hour. So like we do events for the kids to go off and then for the parents to like come together, and we're like serving them drinks and like doing like food and appetizers and like all these cool things just for them to like get to be parents and not worry about what's happening with their kids' blood sugars. So it's amazing. So they have those things, and they also have this amazing program where we have I say we, so Farva or Tara, she's one of the founders. Her entire fridge in her garage right now is stocked with insulin. And the reason being is we have so many people who are struggling to get their prescription filled, or they can't afford that month's insulin, and it should be illegal legal right for every diabetic to have access to insulin and to actually have it. So we have programs where if you need insulin, you just call one of us and we got you. Like, she's based on the East Valley. I'm here in West Phoenix, but I mean, the cool thing is, like, we have such a large network that if you need something, we've got something for you.
I love that. I love that. That's beautiful. And how would people get in touch with you guys? You know, how would, let's say my family can't come up with the money to get me insulin for the week or for the month. Like, how would they get in touch with you guys?
So diabetesnetwork.org or diabetesnetworkaz.org is a website you can go through. You guys are also welcome to contact me. So while I'm not on the board or anything, whatever they need, they got me. It's just more for my business and everything. I'm just like crazy busy, and they've also got a lot of stuff going on. But we have a listserv of about 180 type wonderfuls in our network that are all from the camp. So like, we'll have people that send out an email like, hey, I don't have, pump supplies for this month or whatever. And people will just rush to that and be like, hey, send me your address. I can ship this to you. I can do whatever. I mean, Tucson's like less than a 2-hour drive away from me. Like, if someone really needed it, like, I will meet somebody. Like, it's just, it's something you should never not have. So I wish I can pull up the information and send it off. And then maybe at some point we can like put up the organization's information in there. Also, sorry, I'm getting really distracted by like all the comments coming in. Elizabeth, you're being very sweet. Thank you.
By the way, Elizabeth thinks you're very beautiful. And
yeah,
she wants you to know it.
I mean, like, say more, but like, it's a free country. Like, do what you want.
Oh, we appreciate you.
I need her and your soundboard to follow me around just
There
for
you
like.
go. Every time you walk into a room, you get one of these, and then you make a point, and you just round of applause.
Oh my God.
Life is good.
Well, anyways, sorry to get back on track. So
No, it's good.
we've got that. So we have the Diabetes Network of Arizona. And then also we've got some really cool things that are happening that I really want to like shout out while we're like barely partway through this, so it doesn't get lost in the sauce towards the end of this interview. But we also have an awesome event that I did announce officially on our podcast that we did last called Betting on a Cure.
Yes.
Super exciting.
Mhm.
So that is something that started, oh my gosh, over a decade ago in one of my other friends' not basements. We don't have basements here in Arizona. In my friend's garage, where she was also a recipient as a kid to go to camp she was sponsored to go. And so she's always wanted to give back. So she created like a little poker tournament in her garage and invited friends, family. And then that just continued to grow and grow and grow all the way to the point where she started doing these massive events every year where they were fundraising money to send these kids to camp. And then COVID did its thing. And so we haven't had events since 2019, but I'm super grateful and excited to state that we are doing our next relaunch of Betting on a Cure for 2025 here in Mesa. Yay. On September 20th.
Sorry, I had to check.
Such an aggressive applause.
I know. It's super loud.
And it's on September 20th. So ticket sales are currently live. We are absolutely looking for sponsors and donors. So good news is Diabetes Network of Arizona is a 501c3 nonprofit. So what you do donate, you are able to get a tax write-off. So round of applause for that.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
You don't actually have to play it, but but so they're doing that. So we're looking for sponsors. We're also looking for business owners that either whether you own a restaurant that you want to showcase your food with, or if you have items you want to donate for the auction or the raffles. We're also looking for just people in general who just like want to participate or be a part of our gift bags. And yes, if you are an alcohol rep, we are looking for alcohol sponsors as well. Because again, diabetics can drink, and also their partners who are not type 1 also would love a drink as well. So
Preach. Absolutely.
Which I understand you're apparently going to be out of town the 20th.
Yeah. I mean, if my sister wasn't getting married, I can have her move it. Say,
I
you know
mean,
what?
you know what? I mean, honestly, just it's too late. Let it be. Let it be. We'll
Yeah,
forget
I'm
it.
so bummed though. I really want to be a part of that. And I just want to reach out to the audience real quick and just reiterate that if you have any ideas of people that may be sponsors for this, or you yourself are a business owner, or you want to donate something of yours to be, a part of the movement that's happening right now, reach out to Amanda Cardenas. I'm sorry, these lights have this little fly that's running around and driving me up a wall. So, anyways, yeah, please reach out and yeah, donate if you can and be a part of the cause. Let's see, Hannah Kovac. Hello, welcome in. Appreciate you joining us. Elizabeth, thank you for all the comments. She is on one right now. Just spamming hearts, she says. Hannah Kovac says Victoria is getting married. Woohoo! Good for her. Yeah, isn't that sweet? Isn't that sweet? Yeah. But yeah, no, that's amazing. And I want to also open up, my arms to whatever it is that you guys have going on. If there's something that I can do to help you out, if there's something that I can promote, if there is, something that I can put in the description of these videos, and we can talk on the back end about this, but just let me know how I can advocate for you and everything that you guys have going on right now, because again, I want to be sponsoring kids and I want to, donate whatever I can, but I also want this to go towards something that people can, sorry, I'm trying not to dive into these comments while I'm talking to you. But I also want to be donating to things that people can see, right? I want to be donating to things where we can go and cover what these people are donating to. So next year for Camp ASDA, I will be at Camp ASDA. I may or may not be a counselor or, just somebody that's there to interview, but I want to be involved. I want to be involved 110%. And I want these people to see exactly where their donations are going so that we can make sure that they're getting a good backstory and they're excited about what we're doing and they can really see and feel the impact of the things that we're putting on the forefront here. So
I would love that. Yeah,
yeah,
don't threaten me with a good time and not mean it. I'm
yeah,
telling you. So, and we'll see. You got to pass the interview process, though. I mean, to be fair, if I can get in, I think you'll be
oh,
just fine.
don't say that. Come on now.
I'm just
Oh
kidding. I'm pretty great, but
yeah, I know you know that. I know you know that.
we'd
But
welcome you with open arms.
I have a couple of questions for you though.
Sure.
So, as a fellow type 1 diabetic who's been surrounded by diabetics your whole life, like you have so many incredible puns that are fun. Yeah, there's just like, I'm sure it's just nonstop because you grew up around it. You had the opportunity to be surrounded by other people that are coming up with things. And it just, I'm sure there's just a whole sub language that's cultivated
Just
over the years.
naturally witty, but we can give credit to other people. That's fine.
But I'm curious, like, because as a type 1 diabetic, you obviously get asked all the time, like to you, when somebody asks, so what is diabetes? What do you tell them?
Oof. I don't think anyone's ever asked me what is diabetes. I,
Well, then that's a terrible question.
you stumped
Let
me.
me
I mean,
let me
diabetes is
rephrase.
just picking up a full-time job as being your own pancreas. I mean, it's like I it's kind of hard to describe because it's like when people like it's just like when people ask like what does it feel like being low? It's like, well, just imagine yourself getting a sudden like hot flash or cold sweats or something and your vision gets blurred and you feel like it's almost like you feel drunk but less control and you really quickly need another drink, but it's juice instead of alcohol. Like, I don't know how to explain that very well.
Interesting.
Um,
Okay, because that was my next question. Yeah, because and then when I try and describe, I thought maybe you would just have like a go-to. You're like, hey, this is how it feels, and I'd be like, oh, okay, that makes sense, but
it's
that's okay.
normally, what is that? Like,
Yeah,
that's normally the one thing people are like, what is that? Like,
yeah, yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense. But yeah, and then I was curious too, like, how do you explain? Because you have an insulin pump, right? I mean, that's what that is right there. That's your
yes.
Omnipod.
Yes.
Yeah. So when you explain that to somebody, with highs and lows and it monitoring. Do you ever go into depth, or is it just pretty surface level? Like, hey, this is my pancreas.
Well, I mean, it's just one of those things where it's like, it's like, okay, anytime you eat or drink or anything you do, you don't have a second thought of it. You just go on with your day and whatever. For us, this is like my external pancreas. So, how I explain that to people is like, whether you know this or not, your pancreas, it does a lot. Like it doesn't just produce insulin, it's also hormones and everything. But besides that, it's constantly giving me an insulin drip like your pancreas naturally does. And not only that, but when it comes to like regulating my blood sugars or anything that I'm eating, like it's just one of those things where it's like I'm like a Tamagotchi. I don't know if you've ever seen that, where you like got to keep it alive by pressing buttons and all these things. Like it's from like back in the early 2000s, early or late 90s
Great
or
reference.
whatever. But
Yeah.
it's like I'm the Tamagotchi. Like I'm keeping myself alive by pressing these buttons, making sure I'm drinking water, like doing all these things. But it's like, so many things affects your blood sugar, and like we're all different. Like even you and I, like for me back in the day, like public speaking, like gave me so much stress, like it shot my blood sugar up without
Mm.
eating anything. Or like I can drink black coffee and that still raises my blood sugar a little bit. Like there's just, for me, it's different, and everyone else it's different as well. But like, I guess the best thing to explain is just like, it's just my external pancreas. It's just,
Mm.
you want to ask me more questions, I guess.
I like that. I like that.
If that
And
helps at
as
all.
you've gotten older, though, yeah, because I guess when people ask me, it's especially like family. When I first was diagnosed, I'm trying to explain it as if it's like a car engine. I'm like, okay, so you have so much gas, and
Okay.
then you put this in, and then you're burning the gas, and that's this, and it's like, God dang, maybe there's just a sweet one-liner that just
I like
silences.
that.
Yeah, but
Car engine.
it was really drawn out, and there was no reason for me to go that in depth about combustion and sparks, and it's like.
I mean, I guess the easiest way to respond is just staring at them like, like don't say anything. I don't know. It's just it's hard to explain, but if people want more information, I can get more granular, but it's kind of like at least shedding enough light for them to want to know more, and then I can just direct them to my friends who have the pages that are very dedicated to diabetes, like my really
Yes.
good friend with type 1 fun, like, and she's phenomenal. My friend, I God, it's like translating a second language when I'm saying their camp name versus their regular name, but her name is Maddie. It's weird to say that. I think it's Maddie. Now I'm like double guessing, but she's known as Mrs. Worldwide, and she became our one of our heads of nutrition for Camp Asda. But she just had a book come out. She just did like a really awesome like live conference. She was a keynote speaker for this big conference for type 1 diabetes out in San Diego this weekend. And like I'm so proud of her. But she has like a page fully dedicated to like diabetes and like management and like how you can eat and also just be a normal ass person and have diabetes. And like she really gets down in a very granular way. So I'll just be like, yeah, it's a conversation starter. And then I just share her Instagram page. Like I'm like, look here and talk to her. But yeah, and then as far as like my other one-liners, I mean, man, like I do know one that I said that was like I didn't even think about it, but so at camp in years past we do pageants where your campers would dress up their counselor and they'd create like a whole backstory and it's just the most ridiculous thing ever. And so the one I participated 2-3 years in it, but the one year that I won this one year. It was Star Wars themed. Like the whole camp was Star Wars themed, and I was the ex lady of Vady. And I made it all the way through the end of the round, and I will not forget this. But the MC was like, "All right, ex lady of Vady, if you were to go on an intergalactic battle with anyone, who would it be and why?" I didn't even think about it. I was like, I'm pretty sure I'd bring a type 1 diabetic with me because they rarely miss a shot. And everyone was just like, oh shit.
It's so good.
And it was just like it was just one of the things where it was just like it was so lame, but it was a one-liner. It worked. Like, so I mean, I don't know, like we've got things like you're the high to my low, you're the I
I love that.
don't
I
know.
love that. No, that's so good. That's so good.
Now
Well,
I'm
I
on the
went.
God.
No. Yeah, really. Yeah, tell me all of them right now. Break
Yeah,
them
right
down.
now.
But I need to take a quick break, so I need to grab something to drink, and we'll be right back. So I'm so sorry about that, but hold tight,
Why?
ladies and gentlemen. What's that?
It said, why are you sorry? Go do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go do that. I'll be right back, you guys.
Okay.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your patience. It's the first time, besides the 6 hour stream that we did, I had to take a moment, get myself a little drink. And, we're on the topic of diabetes, and here we are, living with it. But we're pushing through and making sure that we bring you guys a good show today. So we're going to dive back in with Amanda Cardenas. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up if you're ready to dive back in here, Amanda. Let's see. Looks like she's not ready. And that's okay. But whenever you're ready, Amanda, you give me a thumbs up so I can see it. I can't hear you, by the way. There we go. I see a thumbs up. Okay, cool. All right, let me pop her back in. Let's go. Welcome back in, Amanda Cardenas.
I was like, I can't find this thumbs up thing, and you just needed to see me do it.
Oh, welcome back.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So funny.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I guess with a live show, I feel as though I have a bit of a responsibility to not only bring a good show, but keep people somewhat entertained. And, sometimes you can't, and that's just what it is. So let's see. Rich says, Amanda, if there was one thing you could tell a new diabetic patient, what would it be? Good question, Rich.
Ooh, that is a good question. One, your life isn't over, it's just starting. While you may feel like a why me moment, there's a lot more behind it than just the diagnosis. I mean, wow, that's kind of, yeah, again, that's a cool question. It's going to be okay. It's going to
Mm.
be frustrating, and it's okay to not be okay because, again, you will have those moments where it is just like infuriating. I mean, you get what we call diabetic burnout, where you just don't want to deal with anything. I mean, literally having a roller coasters of a low and a high, like that could derail your whole day. Like, if we're going
Mm.
to be honest, like, we're not going to sugarcoat things here. Like, we're diabetic. We don't want to bolus for crap we don't need. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
See, that was a lame one liner from me just now. But it's okay to not be okay, and you're allowed to get frustrated, and you're allowed to have your moments, but also realize, like, it's not just you anymore. Like, it's not just about what's happening to you. Like, your family's going through the same thing, but in a different way. So just know that there is a massive community of people out here for you. Like, even though we've never met before, like, I always offer to people that I know when they're like, hey, my friend's daughter was just diagnosed, or, someone I know at work, like, I always offer my information. I'm like, if these parents need someone to talk to, or they need someone to talk to the kid, like, call me. Like, that's
Mhm.
that's something where I'm so open to. Like, I would just love to talk and, like, be that person who gets it and who you can feel safe with, like, sharing how you feel. Because I think the biggest frustration too, especially when you were first diagnosed, is like, you don't have anyone to talk to. Like, you don't know what if you're going through is normal or any of that. And it is, and it's normal, and you're not alone. It's just hard to not feel that way until you get connected with these groups of people.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
uh,
absolutely. Well said. Thank you for that answer. And thank you for that question, Rich. That is really nice.
thank you.
And yeah, that was great. And, I kind of want to piggyback on that too, because I feel as though I always lend a hand. And I've had quite a few people either being diagnosed themselves or having people in their family diagnosed and reach out to me and ask me, what do I do? Who do I call? And I'm like, well, you call me. If you need something, call me. And I may not always have the best answers, but I will give you what I do have. And it's really important to have that. So thank you for sharing that. And again, Rich, thank you for that question. But I want to ask before we go, Amanda. So we're going to be looking for ways to be able to sponsor these kids. And we spoke briefly over the phone and we discussed how there's good and not so good ways of doing that, right? And I kind of want to break that down on how we can go about advocating to find the families in need to help sponsor these kids.
Yeah. So obviously there's forms of red tape with, like, nonprofit organizations, because in order for us to be able to help a lot of these people, like, we have to know who needs the financial aid. When it comes to Camp ASDA with the American Diabetes Association, they legally cannot give out information of people who are in financial need, or really any information in general, because it is a very protected piece of information, whether it's your phone number, any of that. So, the way that I was able to actually sponsor my camper this year was because I was already in talks with the mom. I was helping her look for a living situation because, again, I do real estate full time. And so while we were looking at her options, it just naturally came up, like, I just don't know what to do or how we're going to come up with this money by the time it's due. So that was my perfect, like, entrance into being able to, me and my husband being able to sponsor her daughter. However, in order for us to be able to be as impactful as possible without, like, crossing a line in a sense with the American Diabetes Association, or like with DNA or anything like that, is having people and giving them a platform for them to reach out to us. So whether it's like somebody wants to nominate, like, a family or something like that, where they're like, hey, my friend's granddaughter was just diagnosed and this would be a huge impact for them, but I don't think they could afford to send them. Because in all honesty, camp can cost for at least ASDA, it can cost anywhere from, like, I think it's like $800 to $1,200 per camper for the week.
Mhm.
So, and again, it depends because even people who do qualify for financial aid through some of these organizations, it doesn't mean they're fully covered, and it doesn't mean they can still afford the remaining amount.
Right.
So, like, if you were to create like an online platform for people to either nominate, or they could reach out to you directly and say, hey, like my kid is, because, and one thing to kind of put out there for your viewers is this camp is age restricted. So it's from 8 years old to 13 for like the main camp portion. And then the teen adventure program is 14 to 16. So we have a 8 to 16-year-old window where your kids can go to camp. So with ASDA, you have to be 8 to 16, but with the family camps we've done for the Diabetes Network of Arizona, I mean, it was a family camp, so people were bringing their 2-year-olds and their babies and stuff like
Wow.
that. So right now there is no limit on that. When it comes to whenever they do like a summer camp, then we'll obviously find out from them what the age ranges are going to be. But anyways, I feel like I'm kind of going off, but I felt like that was
No,
important for people to know to nominate kids and families and stuff like that. So, yeah, really just reaching out directly to us. I don't know how we can input my direct contact information into this because it is a live stream. But you know, use my info wisely. Either you want to buy or sell a house, or help sponsor a kid, or you need insulin. You
Yeah,
know,
I was just gonna say it's up to you if you want to put it out there, because I mean this is on YouTube for a long time. As we continue to grow, we get more and more. Like I need to get a moderator for my chat and things like that. You know, as we continue to grow. So it's up
oh,
to you
or
how you
you
go
can
ahead.
find me on Instagram and Facebook. So there we go. Thank you, Elizabeth, for that. So you can find me on Instagram at Amanda in Phoenix, or you can look me up on Facebook at Amanda and Cardenas on Facebook. I was going to say on Facebook.com, but so yeah, you can reach out to me directly, or same thing with Alexander. Like again, like we are all working towards the same goal. We all want to impact these kids, and these, because it's not just the kids, it's the families we're impacting as well. Because I mean, I'll tell you, like Camp Asda this year was just, out of the 14 years I've been volunteering, like this was the most impactful week I have ever experienced. And
Mm.
I don't know if it was because I got to watch like a majority of my campers I watched grow up move into leadership roles, or the fact that we had one kid that was, I mean, his parents were worried. Like he was very severe, because it's not just diabetes. Like we have kids with autism, we have kids with like all these other things going on. And so they were worried because he's never been alone before without the family. And so they were worried about that from the start of the week to he doesn't socialize, he doesn't try new food, he won't do anything, to where he went in a dance circle with me, he was trying new food. And at the end of camp, he told one of our child life specialists that camp to him is hope. Like
Oh,
camp is hope for
come
him.
on.
And that's what made it so easy for him to do all the things that he did this week that his parents thought were impossible. And it was just like, this was a phenomenal year. And I want to keep doing this for kids. And so the fact that you want to be involved with this, where you haven't even gotten to experience like the physical magic of being at camp, but like you're feeling what it does. And
Mm.
I think that's the best part. And so like, I'm just so grateful for you, like jumping in and doing this. And like, just after our like 2 conversations, like being this excited about it. And also the fact that you want to help us like talk more about like Diabetes Network of Arizona, but betting on a cure, which again, I highly recommend anyone who's in Arizona or outside of Arizona that wants to come here on September 20th. We would absolutely love for you guys to be here. I don't know how to put the link for that in the chat, but again, I'll find a way to get on YouTube and comment and stuff like that. But I'm just grateful. Like you're doing amazing things here. And I love that I get to know another type wonderful diabetics that I have never actually met in person, but like I feel like I know you very well at this point. I just couldn't tell you what your favorite color
That's
is,
right.
but
Oh gosh, you know, and I thank you for sharing all of that. And I feel as though as we continue to move forward and we continue to grow, like this is just that we're just planting the seeds right now. Like I know that if we continue to water all these different avenues of all these different advocate programs, and like we're really going to make a difference with the things that we're doing. And it starts with people like you going out on a limb, talking about it all the time. And I'm going to be doing the same thing because I feel as though advocating to change somebody's life and looking at how that one thing changed somebody's life that I've met now, and the mindset that you have, and love and passion and community that you've brought with you, is just really inspiring. And I want to be able to give that same thing to others. And yeah, it looks as though we got a bunch of comments coming through here.
No, I'm just like, what is happening right
I
now?
know, I know, I know. And it's tough. We can't get to all the comments every single time. So thank you guys for stepping in and leaving comments. We definitely appreciate you. And
Could you see my eyes were starting to look this way? I'm sorry.
it's okay. It's okay. But yes, so if people want to, so if people want to donate, there's also a comment box in the donation area. So there's a few different ways that you can get in touch with myself or Amanda in Phoenix on Instagram. And I went ahead and pinned that on, I'll just put it on the screen here. Instagram.com/Amanda in Phoenix. So yeah, if you have questions about things like that, you can reach out to Amanda. And then if you guys would like to advocate for another family to be sponsored, because again, there's certain parameters that we have to abide by when it comes to these types of things. So if there's somebody that you would like to advocate to be sponsored for camp, you heard the age ranges, so it's 8 to 13. And then I think from 14 to 16, I had a job. So we'll help the 18 to 13-year-old. I'm just teasing. But, I would like to sponsor somebody in the 8 to 13 range and impact the families that way. And I think that, again, you guys can reach out. If you would like to advocate, if you would like to donate, just go to the link in the description. So go ahead and just plug, and we're not asking anybody to, just if you feel in your heart that it's something that you want to stand for, and you want to follow the story after you donate, to see where your actual donation is going. Cause I plan to be involved with whatever Amanda's got going on. Like, I'm along for the ride. So, I want to be intertwined in all of these advocacy programs and nonprofits and betting on a cure and whatever it is. So you tell me what you need from people helping people, and I will be here to help and advocate as much and as often as I possibly can.
We'll just keep helping people, man. You're already doing it, and I seriously, I love the platform you've built off of just being yourself and just wanting to help people. Because again, I think that's why I gravitated towards you, and literally you just popped up on my algorithm out of nowhere. So it's like,
That's so
I
crazy.
believe everything happens for a reason, and genuinely, like I think this was all meant to be, and I'm really excited to see like what moves forward, like with all of these things, because it all just starts with a conversation. It starts with being shameless, like, and not being afraid to, like, again, be vulnerable to talk about these types of things and just build a community. Because, like, again, like, there's nothing wrong with being an introvert, but at the end of the day, like, unless you're putting yourself out there, it's really hard to find that. And so I am being every introvert's favorite person, and I am extending this invite to you. Like, if you are a type wonderful diabetes, or you know someone who is, please get them in touch. Like, we're all a bunch of misfits who all fit together at the end of the day. And if you need any resources, or you just need someone to talk to, or whatever, like, just don't be shy. Like, you have a community of people. We're just waiting for you to join us. So thank you so much for everything. And I'm just so grateful, and I'm excited. And yeah, just thank you so much for letting me be a part of this. I'm so grateful.
Thank
And
you.
I'm shocked you got me awake past like 9 o'clock since I got back from my trip. Like,
I know. Gosh, I felt bad. I was like, hey, let's do this. Let's get it going. Let's get you on the show. And you're like, just got back from a trip. You're all jet lagged, and you
dude,
did it for us. You're
that
here.
trip was crazy. And on a totally last note, David Castillo, I think I accidentally said the name Rich at the beginning because I was seeing all the comments going through. But David Castillo is your podcast that like helped get me into all this. And also, if you're not doing anything September 20th,
There you go. Yeah.
let me know. Come out to
Castillo would be
Mesa.
down. Yeah, absolutely. Castillo, reach out to Amanda. And him and his little girl, family, whatever it is, or whatever. That'd be great.
It's a 21 and up event,
Oh,
but
it's that one. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Well,
but
him and his
again,
girl
we
roll
do
out
have
there.
other we have other events through Diabetes Network of Arizona, and I think it'd be really cool to start if he ever wants to expand our chapter into the Tucson area. I've got quite a few friends from camp who also live in Tucson that would love to meet you and your little girl. So
Beautiful. Beautiful. Castillo, I hope you're out there listening. And if he's not, then I'll just reach out to him and I'll make the connection between you guys so that we can do that.
oh,
And
we've
that's
already been
another thing.
messaging.
Oh, good. Good. Okay,
He
good.
asked me why I added him on Facebook a while back, and I was like, "Oh, your boy Alexander and I was on your podcast." And he's like, "Oh, okay."
Yes. Awesome. Because I would like to plant seeds of any kind out here. I've got an extra fridge in my garage. If I can stockpile insulin, if people have extra or whatever, I wouldn't even know how to go about starting something like that. But let's plant those seeds. Let's get the ball rolling in any which direction that we can as far as like advocating for the things that are here right now. And as we continue to flourish and grow, we'll see what comes of it, because again, I just want to be intertwined in whatever circle you got going on to help. So thanks again.
Awesome.
I appreciate you.
Drink your juice. Feel better.
Yes, absolutely.
Way to push through it. You did it.
Yeah. Thank you, Amanda. Ladies and gentlemen, Amanda Cardenas. Take care. All right. Amazing. Truly. She's so inspirational. So inspirational. I can barely talk. I'm getting all tongue-tied over here, trying to recover. A nice old brim of sweat is beating up here. But yeah, that's just what it is sometimes. But I want to thank everybody for coming in. I want to thank you guys for being supporters of People Helping People. I want to shout out a few people that are supporting the show. That's T-Town Boxing. Jake Wilson over there at T-Town Boxing. We love you, brother. And thank you for being a supporter of People Helping People. Penny and Benny, our merchandise guys. Stay curious. I love this shirt. Penny and Benny LLC. If you are a business owner, you have an event coming up and you need some merch, pennyandbenny.com. And then carsfortucson.com. These guys, if someone is stricken financially and needs help, carsfortucson.org. They are here to help people that don't have enough for car repairs, and they want to give away vehicles as well. So, I mean, I'm just here trying to advocate for the best things that I can possibly find and the best people that I can possibly intertwine with. And I want to bring everything to you guys full-fledged, because I think that there's so many amazing things in the world, and I hope to be the one to uncover a lot of them and at least bring those to light to the people that are deserving of it. And so thank you all for being here. I really do appreciate you. And this is the close of episode 4 of chapter 2, People Helping People. Thank you, guys.
Yeah. What's everybody fighting for? Why can't